This is probably going to become standard that's election the stuff that I'm looking at. I wanted to do a topic about fake news. I didn't originally want to do this topic, but this topic, it kept coming up. And then I heard that Hillary was talking about putting legislation in. Then I read that the Washington Post had put out an article talking about fake news. It's everywhere. There's always been fake news. And Mark Twain has this quote that a lie travels around the world before truth ever puts on its boots. Yeah, it's kind of true. But we should be clear, that's not why she lost. I mean, I'm not going to reiterate that part, but I do want to hit on this idea of fake news. This is a dark, dangerous path. I mean, this idea of trying to legislate what's true. Truth. To legislate truth. If you're saying something that's against what the government wants, you better hope that that particular politician doesn't have that in them to go after you, because they will have a legal apparatus to do that. If you're passing legislation that's fake news, and hey, if you're going to say fake news, let's talk about all fake news. I mean, if the issue isn't fake news, the issue is real news that gets the shit wrong, and real news that essentially kind of not give information that's pertinent to people and pertinent to their lives about why their lives are in that situation. What we have is essentially real news that's giving infotainment. You know, if you're watching CNN or something like that. And look, tell the truth, shame the devil. So right here, Russian propaganda effort helped spread fake news during the election, experts say. Well, if Washington Post is saying it, then Washington Post has to have that moral authority to actually give that story. Well, later on in the article, we find that the fake news article on the Washington Post amounted to fake news. They had to give a correction. As previously published version of the story incorrectly stated that the Russian information service RT has used crooked Hillary's hashtag to public then Republican candidate Donald Trump. Now look, whether it was a lie, whether it just wasn't fact checked, whatever the reason, it was fake news. They gave bad information on a main news site. And you may say, hey, that's a small getting it wrong. Well, it's not a small getting it wrong if they're trying to pass legislation to regulate truth. So let's take it another way. That's a more dire approach. New York Times. New York Times. So back in 2004, after the Iraq War, the New York Times public editor published the article, Weapons of Mass Destruction or Mass Destruction? Because the New York Times, on the front page, was trumpeted as saying, Iraq has weapons, Iraq has weapons. Iraq didn't have weapons of mass destruction. And we spent $6 trillion and we killed 1 million people to do it. And to stabilize the region. You don't think ISIS, to some degree, is a response of shit like this, where they're actually fomenting a war? War efforts don't last if the media doesn't allow them to last. And good job, New York Times, that liberal bastion. America's trust in media is at an all-time low. I think it's like 40%. Because people realize these guys are full of shit, and they're purely on... these guys are full of shit. Pardon, I'm sweating. These guys are full of shit. And oftentimes they're playing a corporate narrative. Whether that corporate narrative, or whether that narrative is right or wrong. There's no talk about when, in the Podesta files, or the Podesta emails, where Hillary Clinton is passing information to journalists, or journalists is passing information to Hillary Clinton to verify whether or not that story is adequate. Journalists. Hey, is this story okay? I just wanted your approval. I just want your approval. What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't want to hear your bitching about fake news. Fake news is not the issue. Fake news is not why you lost. You lost because you was a horrible fucking candidate. Now go home. Stop fucking with us. Go home. You have news sites like TruthDig that was added to it. You had WikiLeaks that was added to it. Essentially everything that was against the status quo interests. It's not that those sites were wrong. Robert Scheer of TruthDig has been a journalist for like 40 goddamn years. He's interviewed like every president that was in office. TruthDig is not a fake news site. Put it this way. Yes, there are some sites out there that are full of shit. I would say all of Fox News. Honestly, I don't know how people say Fox News and not snicker a little bit after they say it. The word sounds ridiculous to me. Whether you're talking about Alex Jones, he is a fucking lunatic. But every everybody who gives a story is not fake news. And you can't conflate the two between the two. And it's easy to debunk stuff like, I guess, Pizzagate. Yeah, somebody went on and did it. But did the majority of the people believe it? Did the majority of the people believe that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction? That lie killed a million people. So, yeah, keep it moving, man. This fake news thing is absolutely ridiculous. And it sounds like spoiled grapes over the fact that their horrible candidate lost. And they're looking for reasons to say she lost. As opposed to just saying, yeah, she was a horrible candidate. And she spoke nothing to what the people in the country were looking for. So, calling it a day. Alright, guys. Have a good one.